Okay, so another Linux out of the box, and this is, I can't pronounce this, Kubuntu 2504. So basically what this is, same computer as normal, 9060 XT, pretty recent, but yeah, same as I've tested everything on. So this is Ubuntu, but with a Plasma desktop. If I installed, it's called Plucky Puffin. I don't know who comes up with these names for these things. It's called Plucky Puffin, which is their very, very latest version of Ubuntu. And this is the Plasma version. So it's got the Plasma desktop, because I'm not a big fan of the GNOME desktop. So I thought I'd install this one. Exactly the same as Plucky Puffin. The GNOME version, sort of in functionality, but just with a different desktop environment. So here we go. So standard thing, installer, and we'll put it through its paces. And obviously the exercise here is, I'm a Windows user or I'm a Mac user, so it needs to be super basic, and I don't want to go to terminal. I just don't. That's not how it works on any other platform. So we're sort of going to see if you can just install this and get on with it. And that looks okay. Nice installer interface. But yeah, so I'm going to install OBS. I'm going to install Steam and a word processor and an AI thing called Alpaca, which runs a local AI for you. So all the standard installation stuff going on here. Erase my disk and then install it. Yeah, and the password stuff. So, you know, you should easily be able to follow along with an installer like this. It's not asking you anything ridiculous. You don't normally switch on login automatically. That's just me for speed. And then that's going to install to the disk. And there we go. And it's got its screen. So yeah, so you've got Ubuntu, which is canonical. And they're all GNOME. And I'm sure there's ways that you can change to cater to Plasma desktop. The reason I'm going Plasma is it's more friendly towards a Windows user. There are other options you can go that are more like a Mac user, but Plasma is, you know, it's all bottom left. It took me ages to work out Windows 11 how to move the bar into the bottom left corner. I don't use Windows that often because I hate it in the center. But yeah, so it's like more familiar for people. And here I'm just showing you what's being installed. But this was quite a really quick installation, which surprised me. Because some of them take ages to go in, but this was really, really snappy. But yeah, so Plasma. But it's been really interesting doing this, going from each distribution to each distribution, how they do this, the terminology that comes up, where some systems call it root. Nobody understands what that means in Windows world or even Mac. Well, you do in a Mac world a little bit, but you just call things admin. It's a lot of it's about naming terminologies, and you know. It's one of these things. I'd love more people to use Linux, but the people doing it who are brilliant, who are amazing, and it's all written for free. You just tweak some of the terminology, and it becomes much more acceptable for everybody to use because it makes sense to them. I mean, one of the things I switched over for is gaming, because I think that Proton and Valve and SteamOS and stuff like that is just amazing what they've done, because you've just got a free operating system. That you can run your games on. So we're doing a reboot now. That was quick, wasn't it? I've not sped that up. So that is a super quick install. Some of them just go on for hours. Some of them pull down a lot of stuff from the cloud. But yeah, this is just rebooting back in, and it should just log straight back in. So it's pretty smooth so far, isn't it? I think this is 2025. So if you look back at my video for Ubuntu 22, it just went black screen. I've had a couple of black screens. And here we go, Plasma introduction, which is nice. Next takes you through it. And you can see the interface, bottom left. You've got everything down there. So what you get is a thing called Discover Store. And you see it in the taskbar at the bottom there. And I'm going to have a look around first. Games, development, nothing there. Games, nothing. Updates available as usual. We've got to update. And we may have a lot to update. Okay, there we go. A lot of updates to do. 1.4 gigabytes. And this is the difference. It's like sort of quick install. It's your trade-off. Quick install, and then you can get going. Or then, however, the downside is this, where you quick install it, then you've got to do all the updates. Or you've got like something like Catchy which, as you install it, pulls down the very latest versions of everything as it does the install. So at the end of it, there's an update to do. So it's whichever version. But obviously, if you're offline, then this is great. You know, it gets you to a certain point, you get in. Some installers really do rely on an external download. What's that? Core 22 base for a fresh version. So there's quite a lot to do there. Probably going to throw an error this. Every one I've done this on that's Debian based has thrown a technical error at some point when I've done this. So yeah, so you just let it do its thing. So yeah, so I've done quite a lot. If you look at the channel, there's quite a lot of distros I've worked through. Some of them are really, really good. Some of them not so good. Some real shockers. OpenSUSE was a real shock as to how good it was and how user friendly. When I always thought that was something that just like the server guys used. But so yeah, so we'll just put this on and get it to go. But I've had some real failures. I think that again, this all comes down to the stores. I think a lot of them have got the installations correct, brilliant. But you want to run software, and it's got to be, and it's not, you know, whose fault is it? Is it Flatpak, where it comes from? Is it whoever writes the OS? Is it the people who make the interface like this? Where does this sit? You know, every single one of these OSs just needs a simple way for people to install software, because the moment you jump into Google, it's because you can't work out how to install something that you want to use. And that's about it, really. I mean, everything else is laid out. So you've got all the controls in your settings and things like that that allow you to change your environment, but it's all down to the software, isn't it? You know, Windows, go in there, you've got the Windows App Store, you download, run executable, thing runs. Mac, you've got like spoon-fed the App Store, and you click it and it installs and it runs. It's that bit where I found that Linux fails. But here's the thing is, it's free. The software's free, so you've got this really weird zone, haven't you? So yeah, it's sort of, because it's free, you've got no one to shout at. Obviously, if you buy some software and it doesn't install, you've got something to go back to. So it's this weird thing, isn't it, where it's so close, but because there's no money involved, you know, what do you do? You end up Googling. So you have to become a little bit more expert in what you're doing. So what's it saying there? Fetching updates. Update. It's done it. Need to reboot, I imagine. Or am I I can't remember what I did here. Did I download more software? Or did I reboot? Can't remember. I'm pausing. I'm thinking. When I do these videos, I'm like sitting thinking, now what do I do next? What do I do? Do I put the software on and do the reboot? I mean, you should really sort of do that. Yeah, it's one of the big things, isn't it? It's when you install a lot of software, especially for patches, it's probably best to reboot. I can imagine at this point here, I'm thinking about what I'm going to put on and then what I'm going to do next, but I should just reboot it really and then come back to it and see what we can do with the software installer. But yeah, these are, here we go, quick reboot. Yeah, shut down and reboot. So yeah, so once you've done a load of patches, reboot it, then put your software in. But the other thing is once you've installed your software, it's probably a really good idea to reboot again. You don't have to do it again, but it's just, Linux is very prone for reboots. I know that when you're on a PC or a Mac, whenever you install software, you don't reboot, do you? I can't remember ever rebooting on a Mac after I've installed software. You just don't have that philosophy, but you should. So yeah, so the next part of this is to install some software. Yeah, so what we're going to do now, I'm going to have a look into Application Launcher and then have a quick look around and see. I've got Office installed already. And yeah, System. Okay, and that's Discover, which is the KDE version of the store. And these stores are hooked up to repositories that allow you to get access to the software. They're not always the same. Now, you can see I've got two versions of OBS. One is Snap and one is just FlatHub, I believe. So it gets a little bit confusing as to where this software is coming from, what version. I always see two versions of things like Steam. Sometimes you get two versions. You get one called native and you get another one. And so, you know, free and open source software, and that's the unofficial one. So what's that? You know, there's too many choices in this source. There's Steam. And again, that says Snap. So yeah, so it's gets a little bit confusing sometimes as to what comes from where. But again, it's free. So you have limited room to sort of complain about this kind of stuff. So let's just download these. And as you know, like Steam is critical, right? If your system doesn't run Steam off the bat with no problems, I have no time for it, to tell you the truth, because Steam is the thing that's brought us and the Linux community so far forward. And basically, the advent of gaming, thank you Valve, this is Alpaca, which is the front end to like ChatGPT and stuff. The advent of gaming on Linux has literally pushed the whole thing forward, and giving you a free and open source way of doing gaming. It's brilliant. So if you can't run Steam, if your distro by default doesn't run Steam, I don't have much space in my life for you, because if you are any level of the developer making the OS, the store, the whatever, it should run Steam, because that's the thing that's going to bring people to the platform, and that's the thing that's going to bring people to use Linux, and that's the thing that's going to take us further forward. I mean, back when I started to play with Linux 10, 12, I can't remember how many years ago, you couldn't run games on it. Well, you could, but they were like native Steam games and Linux games. Steam appeared, and it's just opened the doors. It's made more people interested. More people write software for Linux. So, you know, to all the people who create OSs, make sure that it runs Steam, because, you know, it's really important for the ecosystem of Linux, really, to tell you the truth. And I mean, Valve are developing they've got their own sort of distribution, which is SteamOS. It doesn't work on all the platforms yet. I'm going to try and shoehorn it onto a machine, but, you know, that would be great. So if you can run Steam, you can do word processing, you can do OBS, you can run DaVinci Resolve, then every major food group's covered then, isn't it? You've got creative, you've got games, you've got people who type stuff, and then you've got streamers and YouTubers. So anyway, with Alpaca, there's supposed to be some extras, but I couldn't find them on the store. There's supposed to be 2 additional things that allow you to flat seal. Flat seal, if you're using Flatpaks, allows you to control the permissions, because each of the Flatpak's the software environment. Well, basically, flat seal allows you to control. Technical update issue. This is what I meant about earlier on. So flat seal allows you to control permissions. So it's very useful. Right, let's go back. Yeah, I had a good rummage around and I sort of skipped it in the end. There's supposed to be 2 extras. They're extensions. I couldn't find them in the store for some bizarre reason. So maybe the repository wasn't open or not connected. So I sort of gave up. And I've ran Steam. Let's go run Steam. And it's this silent thing again. So you click the Steam icon, it does something in the background, and then it launches eventually, but it ran. So that's a win. Here we go. So I just need to log in with my QR, and we'll get Steam up and running. Yeah, so this is the big test, isn't it? If it doesn't run Steam, it's a scrap heap, really. I'm afraid. Sorry about that. That'll upset a lot of people, but yeah, if it doesn't run Steam out of the box, then there's a problem, and it needs to be looked at. It's the big, it's the thing that's driven this whole platform forward. Here we go. Oh, I've seen this. What did I spot? Oh, here we go. It won't launch. It won't launch the interface element. It won't launch the interface element. It does this. I can't remember which one. I think it might have been Fedora or one of the others I was looking at. Does this same thing. It sort of runs it. So yeah, let's reboot. If it doesn't, let's reboot it. Give it another go, maybe. See if we can get it going. Office, let's just try that. Yeah, it does typing. We can do that. Multimedia, it's run OBS. I think I might have cut the entire bit of the video out. I have actually, to tell you the truth, yeah. Where I attempted to get Steam running and I reverted to Googling sudo apt and Flatpaks and all sorts. I have actually, I just looked at the timeline. There's a big gap in there. I think it took about 10 minutes, because this is done really well. It's lovely installation and distro, but it's just failed, isn't it? Totally. Because you can't run Steam without any hassle. That's the test. Okay, so OBS is okay. What's the recording codecs? Yep, AV1, H.264, HVEC. Let's just make sure I can do Pipewire on there. Yep. Is it that one? Some of them don't allow you to do that. Some of them you have to do the older screen capture method. Put that in the bin. Media source, screen capture, Pipewire. Oh no, did I hit the wrong one there? Video capture. I probably hit video capture. Yeah, I did. Yep, that's fine. That works. Okay, brilliant. All right. Games. Let's try Steam one last time. And because I have rebooted, but I have cut a huge segment out of this where I was fiddling. It won't run. It'll come up with the icon in the, here we go, but when you click on it, it doesn't launch. Now, someone in the comments says it's really easy to fix to maximize it. That is not the point of the exercise. The exercise is to install it and run it. And if it doesn't do that, then, Kubuntu or whatever you call it. Here we go. Let's have a look at Llama. Now, I couldn't install the extras for this either. So I'll just show you the interface. If it comes up, that's not running. There we go. So no Steam, no Alpaca. Now, where would you normally go? You'd end up now Googling for hours, wouldn't you, to try and work out how to do this, to get two basic packages, which install on any other machine. A lot of the distros and work straight off. So yeah. Okay, nice operating system, but the two, hang on, I've not even bothered with DaVinci Resolve in it. Nice operating system, but yeah, not great on the software front, which is a shame. Anyway, there you go. That's Kubuntu. I can't pronounce it. Anyway, I'm not going to be using it. Thanks for watching.